Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm so glad to see everybody. Happy 2026 to all of us. How amazingly fast time has flown that we are now celebrating 2026. But I have great anticipation of all that God can do in this year. And I want you to, you know, so many times we come into a new year and we start thinking about, what the last year has been and what we're so thankful we're leaving behind. And sometimes we come into a new year and we're just taking a deep breath saying, well, praise the Lord, it's a new year. I have done that. I have been there. Um, and so this year, as we move into 2026 together, you know, there are some of you that have been so faithful to these Monday meditations that you've been here every week or most every week. And I love that. That makes me so happy. And I want to remind you, I appreciate that with these Monday meditations, you always stay on mute. That's just because we're going to come on here. For anybody that's new, we just come on here. I'll talk a little bit and then I'll lead you through a meditation. We're about to open this up where you are welcome to invite people and share the link with them. You can go ahead and be doing that. We just don't have an actual official way yet that we have set up completely. So you are welcome to share this link with people and invite them. You know that most of the time I don't do a lot of explanation about meditation, but we do know that this is what we do to persuade our hearts. This is what we do. This is the effort we put in. This is the labor to enter into rest. And I'm trying to be so spirit led each week. And I'm hearing great testimonies from some of you. So thank you so much for sharing when you get something from this. That is such an encouragement to me. And it tells me to keep going the way that I'm going. And so I love, getting to be a part of this with you. We are the grateful gang. We are going into 2026 with gratefulness. We are going to begin this year already saying, God, I come into this already expecting what you're going to do. I come into this already believing for what 2026 is going to hold for me because remember, what you're looking for, you're going to find. And very, very often we come out of a year sometimes and we feel like all we're going to find is more of what we've already had. We're still living with the same people, we still have the same family, we still have the same problems, we still have the same sickness. Well, I want to engage you today to just in your own heart say, I choose out of my heart. I choose to believe that 2026 will be my best year yet. And that then, if Jesus tarries, 2027 will be even better. Because here's what it says in Isaiah. This is where we're going to begin this year is in Isaiah 43 verse 18 and 19. Isaiah 43 verse 18 and 19. And I'm actually going to be reading it to you from the New King James Version. I know you guys are probably all like, what? Didn't even know she had that version. I do. And I love the way this reads in the New King James Version. I do use a lot of versions because I look for what speaks to me in the languages. Verse 18 of Isaiah 43 says, do not remember the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, and remember, Jim in Ultimate Impact just this Saturday talked about that word behold means look. He's just saying, just notice, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. You know, we look sometimes and we look at our situations and we look at all of our circumstances and we say, how can God do anything in this? How can this year, how can 2026 be any different? Unless I begin this year by saying, I'm not going to consider the things of old. I'm not going to look back at the former things. It's not like you are pretending like nothing happened, but that word consider, what it means is it's talking about when you take the Hebrew letters, the three Hebrew letters, and you unfold that word consider means to listen. There is a duality here. There's always light and dark. There's always up and down. There's always sweet and sour. There's always this duality. There's God and there's man. And then the yod, which is the hand, the power, the strength. And it says it calls us to keep looking up for our hope. And then the vav, which is like the tent peg, which connects it. So that word consider is saying, you know what? Remember this connection that you have. Remember to look up for your hope. So when he's saying, you know what? Don't consider these things of old anymore. Don't look back at these former things because behold, look, I'm doing a new thing. But if I'm spending all of my time thinking about what's still going on, what's a mess, what's not working, what's not, coming together, how could God do anything, then I'm not looking for a new thing. And so I want us, as the gratefulness gang, this morning I was thinking about it. I was like, let's go into 2026 like it's a scavenger hunt. And every day I'm looking for the new thing he's doing in my life because we have so many scriptures that he daily loads me with benefits. He daily loads me. He doesn't just daily divvy them out. He daily loads me. He says, I have all things that pertain to life and godliness as I get to know him. But I've got to be looking for that new thing. I've got to have my eyes so that I see it spring forth. Because he says, you know what? I'll make a road in the wilderness. You know, I don't spend much time in the wilderness. We live in a town where there's not much wilderness, but I'm going to tell you something. I've been in areas out in the country, which is not typical wilderness, but I've been out there and there weren't roads. But God says, I'm going to make a road in the wilderness and I'm going to put rivers in the desert. But we got to have eyes to see and ears to hear. So we today, on January 5th of 2026, and I want you to put this in your notes when you take your notes afterwards. On January 5th, 2026, I made the intentional decision that I'm not going to look at the former things anymore. I'm not going to consider them. I'm not going to make them always a part of everything I'm thinking about, of everything I'm considering, but instead, I'm going to be looking for those streams in the desert. I'm going to be looking for those roads in the wilderness. I'm going to be looking for him to do a new thing. And you know what? When it's new, I don't necessarily know how it's going to work out. I don't necessarily understand how it's even going to look, how it's even going to start. But if I'm looking with expectation, I'm going to find, because he says, you know what? If you seek me, you will find me. But let's intentionally say, Jesus, I invite you into my heart. I know you're already there, but I'm going to watch you as I close my eyes. I'm going to watch you step into me because I am inviting you into 2026. I'm inviting you into this new year. And I'm choosing right now, by my decision, I am choosing that I'm going to be looking for your glory in 2026, your view, your opinion. And I'm going to make that my reality more than I ever have. And I don't even know exactly what that means because by my own words, I'm simply saying, I will make an intention for life in 2026, in every relationship, in every health issue, In every financial issue, I will make the decision for life. I will listen for your voice more than I've ever listened. I will look for you doing a new thing like I've never looked. I will come into every day reminding myself that you love me. As he steps into you, just feel his love, because that's always where it starts. Because we'll only anticipate, we'll only expect that someone who loves us would really be doing a new thing in the midst of our situations. So I start by just experiencing your love for a moment, experiencing how that feels. And it may be like a warm blanket wrapped around you, or it may be being cuddled up in your favorite chair, or it may be just a warmth inside of you, or it may be just you defining, okay, when I feel loved, this is what I notice. Any of those are okay, because in this moment, you're making a choice. He says he loves you. I choose to receive it. I choose to accept it. I choose to believe it's true. And you and Jesus sit down together. And you know he's in you. And you realize in front of you is a piece of paper. And it says 2026. And you notice there's a lot of writing on the paper, but you can't read it. But you know these are the things where Jehovah Jireh, the God who sees and provides, has already gone into 2026 and provided. And all this writing is all the ways he wants to reveal himself to you. It's all the ways he wants to display his love for you. It's all the ways that he wants to come alive inside of you. It's all the ways that he wants to know you and for you to know him more intimately. It's every choice that needs to be made. And although you can't read the writing, you find yourself sitting and you notice peace. Peace wraps around you. You look off into the distance and you see the most beautiful scenery you've ever seen, because it speaks peace to you. Just allow yourself to see it. Add the details you want to add. And let that peace be real to you. be a real picture. You look down at the page that says 2026. And then you look up again and you see the beautiful scenery. But you notice now there are roads. There are roads to walk, paths to follow. And it's not like you have to pick just one is right and one is wrong. It's more, what's the path that you and Jesus will walk down together? Because it leads to peace. Because it is peace. Not even leads to peace, it just is peace. And you realize that as you trust Him, as you do what we're doing today and you just sit with Him for a moment and you just experience His love and you create a picture of peace, and you know that there's life to be lived in 2026. There are people that need what you bring. There are people that need to hear how you will say it. There are people that need to be loved the way that you love. So you know you will hold this close to your heart, this paper, because it serves as a reminder that Jehovah Jireh has already written it. He's already written ways, streams in the desert, and roads in the wilderness. And I choose today. I choose. I choose to be one with Him. I choose to believe what He says about me, His view and His opinion. It gets to be bigger than my opinion. And as I see these paths, I begin to anticipate. I feel excitement inside of me because we're going together. And I begin to imagine myself, Jesus, which one? Which one today? And I see myself skipping down that path. It's January 5th. This is what we're going to do today. This is who we're going to touch. This is how we're going to be ministered to by Jesus today. And I feel His love and I feel this excitement. I bring this up inside of me by my choice because that's me choosing life. That's me choosing His opinion and His view. Because He says, I'm doing a new thing. Will you perceive it? Will you look for it? And the joy of the Lord, I just feel the strength of it. feel happy. I feel happy in this moment. Because me and Jesus, we're going to get to know each other better. And it's not about doing it all right or making all the right decisions. It's about knowing him so intimately that I know the path. And I choose his view and opinion of me right now. His love for me. His desire for me. His excitement for what this year can be. Me and him. So I'll count to 5 and we'll open our eyes together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The thing I always come back to is our foundation has got to be how much he values us. That's where we start. And as we sat with him and I looked off into the distance and I began to see the view of peace, write out what you saw. Don't let that leave you. Write what you saw. Because you want to go back to that picture over and over again. Because you know what? It's January 5th, 2026. But come March and April and May, you may be thinking, I don't remember what in the world I saw, but this is not what I thought I saw. Remember that landscape. And then remember that you knew he was in you and there were paths. And one of the mistakes we make is this right or wrong. I have a right path and a wrong path. And if I choose the wrong path, I've screwed up my entire life. No. That would make him a very finicky God. And we have a lot of examples where he did not write somebody off because they sold off their wife as their sister. We got a lot of examples of somebody who watched somebody bathe and sent her husband to the front line to die so that he could have her. He didn't write them off. And so don't go into 2026 as I got to make all the right decisions. You go into 2026 saying, I am going to experience more intimacy with Jesus than I ever have. I'm going to know his voice more than I've ever known his voice. I'm going to hear it. I'm going to follow it. I'm going to obey it. Not because I'm trying to make something happen, but because he's leading me. See those paths. Allow your heart to show you the picture. And you don't have to know where they lead. We want to know all the answers before we take a step. We want to know how it's going to end, where we're going to end up. You just, right now, today, I just felt him say, experience my love. Experience my presence inside of you as I step inside of you and you know that this is real, that you know this is not just a fabrication of your imagination. See the scenery. Watch for him doing a new thing. And yes, Wendy, I saw those streams in the desert, those roads in the wilderness. See, we look at the wilderness and we say, well, what can he do with that? Oh, he can put a road if we're looking. And I feel like the Grateful Gang, we're going to be looking. And we're going to choose to experience. And we're going to mess up. That's the thing. Everybody know right now, you're going to mess up. You're going to do some of this wrong. There is no condemnation in that. Don't go out looking to do it wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But we put so much pressure on ourselves that I've got to do it right that we forget to just stop and close our eyes and just say, I experience your peace right now. I see my scenery. I see that picture as clear as anything that I've seen. I see the paths and the streams that I get to follow. And excitement is building. Anticipation is alive. Hope is rising inside of us. 2026 is going to be our best year yet. Begin to experience it. So, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of the Monday meditations. We'll be right back here next Monday at 11 o'clock, and we'll go wherever the Lord leads us. Sharon Gallagher, thank you for that. I'm so glad that was good, and I'm glad that you experienced him. I'm just going to tell you, I could stay in his presence forever. I'm just going to tell you, I get in those. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I could just sit here. And guys, that's what we want to develop, is that desire just to sit with him. Not have to accomplish something. We are accomplishers. We are like, okay, I got to fix something. I got to come out of here knowing something in me is better. Let's just be. Because as we be for his glory, as we be in his view and opinion, everything begins to look different. We act different, we talk different, we think different, and peace becomes ours. It becomes a way of life. So I hope you enjoyed today being with him, and now you have some scenery to go and write about and then look at. Look at it over and over again. Make yourself stop as many times as you can this week and just stare at it. You're doing a new thing. And I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know how it's going to look, but I know what my scenery looks. I know what a peaceful scenery looks like to me, what he showed me today. So let's go write about our scenery, and we'll be back together next week at 11 o'clock Central. Love you guys.